Hello to anybody who's interested in learning a little bit more about ClipFitter and the tools we will be supplying in due course. I'm going to give a close-up demonstration of why you would choose one or not the other when it comes to the smaller two sizes. And the larger size I haven't really got in a production state yet, so since it's not even February yet, I think I'm on time and will be on schedule for anybody wanting the larger size. But right now, as lambs are beginning to be born, we're going to talk about the smallest and the middle size clip fitter. Different in appearance and so on, but you'll hear why in a minute. This is what I would call the traditional kind of plier, where you've got a spring that wants to open it all the time. It's a huge grip, as a Bedizo is. But when you're dealing with a small set of pliers, effectively, and a reasonable size hand, you can put your finger over there and make quite light use of this this conventional plier. We may make an unconventional one in the small size too. And this is unconventional. This is what I mean by unconventional. We've got two layers to take your hand away from the sort of anatomy of the animal, and from perhaps some handling gear as well. But more importantly, this plier is always wanting to close. So to open it, rather than to close it with the other one, you're using these front. It's difficult to show that when I'm facing the wrong way. These front levers, who open it very, very simply, and that's I've got the wrong clip in there, but anyway, so that's what they're for. And in fact, as you open it and grab whatever it is you want, it holds it for you, and so you could then go back and take my fingers off or do the deed. So it's a double action thing, but a very convenient way of working what is normally a very wide mechanism. So let's move on and listen to me talking about the detail. Thank you. So we've got a couple of fitters here, clip fitters, clips and fitters, and a set of balls. And I wanted to explain the choice of fitter. There are two sizes for two clips, and of course the question I get asked is, can you fit the small clip in the middle size Midi clipper, you would call it? And of course you can, but there are benefits to using the right one. When you put a clip in, I mean, they're both identical bits of plastic. Sorry, I'm spinning that round. And you put them one up and one down. It's kind of fairly obvious, but it's not obviously obvious, if you know what I mean. Anyway, shove that down to the bottom, and they are locked in place and perfectly aligned. And so much so that pin is almost locating in here and protects skin as you pull the sack down to the bottom. It can't get pierced. I don't know if you can see that. And you would tend to pull the sack down until there was some spare space at the top of the clip, so that when you squeeze, the skin, when it gets stretched out, can have some space to move in. So, and the same applies to this one here, where you put the clip in here, in this case behind a guard, which will be on that clip fitter too, and the other one down the way. And again, that's semi-located there, and the pin is protected from a disturbance as you perhaps adjust your position to get it seated properly on the scrotum, and also protects the skin. It can't get up and get pierced. So there are benefits to that skin guard, which we're building in future ones. But that's the difference. So if you decide to be tight-fisted and buy a single fitter, then be careful where you're putting it, at the top of the guard ideally, behind the guard I mean, and line it up by eyeballing, and make sure this is closed before you pull the skin down to the bottom, and you'll be sure to miss trapping the skin. That's the reason we have two. But I have to say, just before I close, that we've only ever fitted this middle size of clips, the only one we had originally, to all ages of lambs, well, as far as they go upwards, probably to 20 kilos or something. And they've always worked. They look a bit big for a little lamb, but actually they're fine. Even across the way, it is fine. between the legs. You think it's going to hit the inside, but we've never had any evidence that shows that it does. So just to reassure you on that one. So there we have the choice of between the two smaller clip fitters. I hope you learnt something from that. I'm quite good at confusing people at the best of times, and I'm sure you'll work it out for yourselves. You're far more capable than I am. But we'll make more videos in due course about other aspects of the ClipFitter system. Thank you.